Oh. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om and good evening from Niagara Falls. In Vedanta, the word gain is defined as that which is never lost. Gain is that which is never lost. Similarly, in Vedanta, knowledge is that which quietens the mind, quietens the sense organs. And so, my question to all of us is, and I just want to pause here, you can hear me and see me clearly, correct? Someone keeps unmuting their mic, so...
Your audio is very intermittent.
Everyone else, you can hear me clearly. So it's just you then, because everyone else can hear me, okay? So returning to what I was saying is that according to Vedanta, our gain and our knowledge is that which is not lost, that which quietens, and it makes us think of what gains do we have in our lives and what knowledge do we have in our lives. These definitions of gain and knowledge are much deeper than in an academic sense. And it makes me think about, if anyone, and I'm sure everyone has been following along with Twitter and Facebook about what happened 2 days ago. I dare not speak about it in too much detail, so we'll just leave it unnamed. And you see how much people are writing about what they're feeling, their observations, their support, their boycotting, and on and on and on. And the positive in all of this is that it means a lot to people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be sharing the way they are. Otherwise, they wouldn't be expressing the way that they are. Because they're taking this election and making it more deep about a gender, about a vision. And our Moha Mudgara course is taking whatever depth we have in the way we live and taking it to the deepest level, where you can't go to a lower common denominator, where you can't have a higher vision. In our Upanishad, we say, Tat yuktam akhilam vastu. When we see vastus, when we see objects, and we see akhila in all of these objects, we see that which is infinite, then we are yuktam. We are united with that infinitude when we see all objects, all beings, all circumstances as an expression of infinity, as an expression of divinity. That's the vision of this course. This is the depth that we have to invoke. Okay? Last week, as we studied the various forms of satsang, I was reminded of many interactions I've had with evangelical Christians. For some reason, evangelical Christians are quite attracted to the work that I do. So, and in my interactions with them, many of them have had similar upbringings as you and I. You know, whether they have immigrant parents and they went through a religious program, often Bala Vihar. And what has happened with some of the evangelical Christians that I've met is that late at night, when the mind is wandering, they happen to wander by a website that's talking about Christianity in this way, talking about Jesus Christ in this way. And that one viewing of that website literally sways them to change away from their whole upbringing to become these evangelical Christians. And I'm not just picking on Christianity in this sense, but these websites, when the mind is immature, a website has enough power to change our entire upbringing. In a more relative way, you and I feel when we're around positive people that we're more positive, correct? You all have friends that make you feel negative. That's satsang, that's dusanga. To be vigilant about that. Acharya Shankara specifically says, when you associate, this association is with nobility, with the truth, with existence. When you associate, this chain reaction begins where what's next is you become independent. When you become independent, the chain reaction continues, you become responsible. You become responsible, the chain reaction takes us to be aware. Aware of our potential, aware of our nature. And that chain reaction finally finishes, is completed with us being free. And how did this all start? By satsang. So whom we associate with can be a catalyst to us devolving. I've used examples to bring that to your attention. Or it can be a catalyst to evolving. Acharya Shankara is asking us to be vigilant about who you're associating with. Who are your friends? This theme of independence has run through every shloka we've studied so far, and it will continue to run through every shloka that we study. I remember when we were studying in the Vedanta course and Guruji was talking about independence. He said, what if you come home and try to put yourself in this circumstance? Many of you are in different places for this course right now, for this class. You drive home or you walk to your apartment and you open the door and it's totally dark in the hallway, in the kitchen, whatever it is. But you see your laptop in someone's hand as they're leaving through the window. Everyone seeing that right now? Okay. What do you do when you see your laptop being stolen and someone's about to escape through a window? What would you do? Many people would say that, oh, I'd go stop them. Don't lie. There's no way that you would stop someone from stealing your laptop in that context. What you would do is you would call 911. You'd call the police, right? Is that laptop really worth your safety? That's what I would do. Fine. Guruji says, what if you turn the lights on and you realize that it's your child? That it's your sibling that's stealing your laptop? Then what do you do? We would never call the police then, right? We would have this dialogue with them. But his point is that if someone is committing an illegal act, if they're doing that which is wrong, they need to be rehabilitated, whether they're our relative or not. Independence nurtures objectivity. In relationships, when someone's objective, when they're independent, they're objective. They see the full picture. They give good advice. But when someone is not independent, they lose that objectivity. They're stuck with what they see. They don't give good advice. It's very personal then. Yes? So nurturing independence, objectivity, and on and on and on. We continue with Shloka 10 of Bhaja Govindam. Please repeat. Vayasi gate kah kama vikaraha Shushke nire kah kasaraha Kshine vitte kah parivaro Nyate tatve kah samsaraha Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. What does Acharya Shankara share here? In each of these lines, he's highlighting the relationship between a cause and an effect. And this is very deep because he just talked about satsang. If you want to exercise your quadriceps, what should you do? Run up and down stairs. If you want to exercise your biceps, what should you do? Clean an ashram, right? Like we're about to do. If you want to exercise your intellect, what should you do? Be in satsang. Satsang is the gymnasium for the intellect. It's where it becomes louder, stronger. And the intellect is always interested in cause and effect. The curiosity we have when we go to different countries, when we meet different people, that curiosity is us using the intellect. And then sadly what happens is once we start being curious, our judgments come in too, isn't it? That's the mind. This constant dialogue between the intellect and the mind. So what is this cause-effect relationship? What Acharya Shankara says here, Vayasi gate, which means when energy, when youth leaves one, then kaha, where is desire? And where's the play of desire? Kama and vikaraha, desire and all of the expressions of desire. This is not to be taken in a physical sense. We think that, as we age, as we develop more white hairs, more wrinkles, our knees hurt more often, that, yes, we will naturally be free of desire. That's not the case at all. Often our desires grow in an uncontrolled way. What's being shared here is when maturity, how do fancy people say mature? Mature. How do fancy people say finance? Finance. When you mature in your finance study. When someone matures, then what happens is that they stop getting lost in excitement. Now think about this. What is the thief that steals from us when we go into the past? How do we lose energy in the past? Regrets, exactly. Regrets of the past. That's mental. Intellectual, we go to the future. How do we lose in the future? Anxiety. Anxieties of what will happen, what will not happen. And how do we lose in the present? Excitements. So regrets, anxieties, excitements. Now think of a typical person's stages of life. For a younger person, do they have a lot of regrets? They haven't lived that long. Do they have a lot of anxiety? Also probably not. Their primary thief is excitement. Then you get to a middle stage of your life. Now it's less excitement, more anxiety. What will happen to my profession? What will happen to my kids, etc.? And then when you get to a later stage of your life, it's not excitement or anxiety. What is it? Regrets. I should have done this. I could have done this. So this thief is always with us, but which thief is stealing from us? Here Acharya Shankara is sharing, when you mature, you outgrow excitement. You don't let that thief take the present away from you. And making this more tactile. You know when you stayed up all night for the very first time? Go back to that time when you were in elementary school or high school and you stayed up all night for the first time. And it was such a big deal. You got to see the sun rise and you felt, like you grew up. Now, is it cool to stay up all night? Right now, the earlier you can go to sleep, the cooler it is, isn't it? Not just in a Vedantic sense. When I go to people's homes and I interact with their kids and they tell me they go to sleep at 8 o'clock, I just want to cry at how lucky they are that they get to go to sleep at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. What a dream it would be to go to sleep at right now, right? 7:45. When we mature, we outgrow dating. I'm trying to give some worldly examples here, okay? Dating is fun when you don't have something better to do. Then dating is fun. But eventually you outgrow dating then. It's very tiring. It's very shallow. You want to be accepting. I don't want to say you want to settle. That's not a very good word. You outgrow that. Even when people go on vacations, right? We love going on these adventurous vacations where you bungee jump or skydive or you walk over fire and you do all of these really exciting things, but eventually you outgrow that. I'm going to take a year off and just wander. What will you do in that year? Right? Go do seva, go to an ashram, etc., etc. For someone who matures, desire doesn't plague them. And the play of desire doesn't plague them. That's their maturity. This is brought up again in the next line. Shushke nire, when water dries up, kaha ka saraha. When water dries up, there can't be a lake. Cause effect, very straightforward. Here, this is not water that's being talked about. Don't take it literally. The implied meaning is that desires are water, and this lake is samsara. When all desires are dried up, then how can there be samsara? You can't drown in samsara then, because there's no water there. The way that Acharya Tulsidasa shares this, he says, samsara is drowning in the sea of mundane existence. Drowning in a sea of mundane existence is what samsara is. Now, what does that mean to you and I? Not having a good reason to wake up. Not having a good reason to go to sleep to get up. Not feeling happy to go to work, to go to school, to interact with people. When this is missing, that's samsara. This is mundane existence. But when you have purpose, and when your purpose becomes divinity, then there is nothing that is mundane. Every experience is interesting then. One never says that they're bored. In Ramayana, our Vedanta and Ramayana students will be studying this soon. Mother Parvati. What's another name for Mother Parvati? Anyone? Anyone? Uma. Uma is another name. Do you know where that name has come from? Mother Parvati's mother was observing her daughter and how much tapas, how much discipline she was engaged in to earn, to deserve Lord Shiva. And she was so pained by seeing what her daughter was doing. She was going, ooh, ma, ooh, ma. Ooh, like pain, like ouch. Ma means no. Why are you doing this? Don't do this. But Lord Shiva was so immersed in his nature, which is Ananda, that despite all of this discipline that she was engaged in, he was just unaware. So what did the Devatas do? Because they needed Lord Shiva to marry Mother Parvati. They sent Kamadev. And Kamadev comes and he changes the whole environment to be very fragrant and beautiful. And he has these arrows of roses and etc., etc., etc. And he shoots Lord Shiva with this arrow of lust. And Lord Shiva feels it like a mosquito. Not even a mosquito, like a fruit fly. You know, fruit fly, it's there, but it's not there. And in that, he briefly opens his eyes. And in that brief moment when he sees Kama, what happens to Kama? He gets burned up. And the message behind this, wherever there is Shiva, there cannot be Kama. And wherever there's Kama, there cannot be Shiva. Shiva means the one who is egoless. As long as there is ego, there will be desire. When there's no ego, there's no desire. So that's what's brought out even more strongly in this second line. The first line is mature. When you outgrow your excitements, then what happens is you have desires for enlightenment, desire for freedom. And then, when even that desire is dried up, there is only Shiva. There is only Shanti. In the next pada, in the next quarter, Kshine Vitte. Kshine means momentarily. Vitte. Our wealth only lasts momentarily. Ka parivaraha. When this wealth lasts in a very fickle way, it's not around a lot, then where is one's family? Where is one's friends? What Acharya Shankara is bringing up here is, if you depend on articles, beings, circumstances, these articles, beings, circumstances are only temporary. They're only momentary. On Monday, who was supposed to win the election? On Tuesday afternoon, who was supposed to win the election? On Tuesday night, who won the election? Right? Kshine Vitte. But for how long? Immediately, there was boycotts and protests. It was so interesting. That night, when Sheila and I were watching the election, the next morning when I was having breakfast, I just got a message on my phone. It was from our local bank that said, with the new president-elect Donald Trump, expect volatility in the markets in Canada. And I was just thinking, this is such how applicable this is, that Acharya Shankara would have written this 1,500 years ago about the US presidential election in 2016. It's so accurate. Kshine, momentary. Articles, beings, circumstances, pleasures, possessions, positions. They're momentary. Why are you depending on them? Your friends and family are depending on you because you have these, but how long are you going to depend on these? And so he finally finishes saying, these dependencies are on that which is momentary. Instead, Jnate tattve. Know, be that which is tattva, that which is fundamental, that which is existence, ka samsaraha. Where samsaraha here means that which slips away well. Samsarati iti samsara. When you know existence, what can slip away from existence? Energy can. Names and forms can, but existence can't slip away. All is existence. If you're going to depend, depend on that which is eternal, not that which is fleeting. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate. Pay attention. Wake up. Be independent. So this constant cause and effect is shared here. We should grow up to have more noble desires. When even that desire is realized, then what happens is we are free. So these dependencies we all have right now are on dependencies on that which is fleeting. But if you depend on that which is eternal, then your joy is eternal also. We often tell people, you should work harder. You shouldn't just work hard, you should also work smart. Don't just work harder, work smarter also. Acharya Shankar is asking us, where are we investing our resources? Where are we investing our time? Where are we investing our efforts? Don't just work hard, work smart. Where are you investing? Because where you're investing, the returns will be according to that investment. And if you invest in the highest, for those who are near a keyboard, how many creation theories are there in our Upanishads? How many creation theories? Give me a number. Okay, I see 7 is being shared here in Niagara Falls. Anyone else? 9? Now they're just going up in numbers. 64. There's 64 creation theories in our Upanishads. So which one is right? Is 7 right? Is 9 right? Which is the creation theory? The highest creation theory is there is no creation. The highest creation theory is there's no cause and effect. There's just being. Because anything but being, there's a cause, there's an effect. That effect becomes a cause for another effect. So as we think about this cause-effect relationship in this shloka, go higher where there is no effect, where there is no cause. There is bhaja, being of Govinda, that ever-joyous presence. Oh.